gorgeous? Does that funk have you feeling stuck? Have you questioning your purpose, or even yet having you asking if your best years are behind you? Girl, you have zero obligation to stay in that funk. This podcast is for women who want to get the funk out of here, who want to play bigger, ask for more, and step out of mediocrity. Imagine a life filled with lots of energy, excitement, and filled with funk instead of that funk. This is the After 40 Unfunk Your Mind podcast. I'm your host, Crystal, and I'm ready to talk some shit. Let's go! Hi, Superwoman. Welcome to the Unfunk Your Mind podcast. I'm excited to have you here. Now, for all of you animal lovers, this story might be tough to hear, so I'm giving you fair warning. The other afternoon, my daughter walked into the kitchen with tears welled up in her eyes, and I noticed her face was pale. I asked if she was okay, you guys, and the tears came pouring out, and I mean pouring out. I pieced the words together through all her sobbing, and it came out something like, I just pulled off a lizard's tail. What? Well, I will mark this down as a parenting fail. In all their efforts to try and catch these lizards, I never thought that they would actually catch one and much less pull its tail off. And I should mention that she didn't intentionally pull its tail off. She went to catch him and she grabbed him by his tail and it came off in her hand and he ran and scurried away. I never shared how their tails are delicate. Nonetheless, now that I'm sort of a homeschool mom, I used it as an opportunity to talk to her about regeneration and how the lizard is actually able to grow his tail back. While knowing the lizard can regrow his tail didn't comfort her, I can tell you and assure you she will never do that again. That totally freaked her out. But for now, that little lizard has a new identity. He has to visit his other lizard friends without a tail. Does that lizard enter his community with pride because he lost his tail in a battle with a human? Or does he enter with shame because he's not like all the other lizards without a tail? These are the things I think about. He is a loser because the human got his tail, or is he the winner because he courageously got away? What story would he tell his lizard friends? What story would you tell? Are you the brave and courageous lizard, or are you the lizard filled with shame? Can't you be both? The world is filled with contrast by design. Light and dark, hot and cold, dirty and clean. So there are times you may feel like the lizard full of shame, and others where you feel confident, brave, and courageous. All are okay. Matter of fact, it's by design. Think about it. When you are trying something and you're continuously getting defeated, doesn't that start to make you feel deflated? Maybe just a little bit? But then think of that time when you finally did it. You accomplished it. Isn't that feeling amazing? By experiencing that defeat, that feeling of deflated, it makes that amazing feeling almost euphoric. It makes it so much more intense. It's contrast. How many of you, including myself, are okay with contrast? It seems like a common theme where women chase being happy all the time, being comfortable all the time, being a certain way all the time. That is resisting contrast, not letting the contrast in. But don't worry, ladies, you're not alone. Ladies, you're setting an unrealistic expectation on yourself to be one way all the time. The world by design is full of contrast. What if you or we welcome the contrast? I am sitting outside staring at these two rose bushes. One has beautiful hot pink roses bursting from its tips, while the other one has one yellow rose in bloom. Together, both rose bushes, are so beautiful. The pink and the yellow, the contrast. The yellow just adds another dimension. It adds spice. It adds contrast. Is there a little contrast trying to get through one of your cracks that you keep resisting? What if you just let it in? It's been my experience that I can play and have just as much fun, if not more, in the rain as I can in the sun. And if it doesn't pan out, mark it off as an experience. And when we let the contrast ebb and flow in and out of our lives, we laugh a little more. Our humor finds us again in these small moments. I remember being in these days of routine, and when something happened, it would throw me off, throw off my whole day. Oh boy, I became a hot mess. And during my lunch breaks, this is an example. During my lunch breaks, I used to hit up the grocery store and buy some things to make dinner or get some last minute sides. And if I missed this, it would become a mad dash to the store after work and a rush to get home and put dinner on the table. Hurry, hurry, hurry. There was little room left for humor. Fast forward, and instead of hurry, 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 I've let in ease. Now, instead of making a mad dash to the store to get the whipped cream I forgot to get for the strawberries, I became a little more resourceful and grabbed Lucky Charms that I already had in the cupboard, crushed them onto the strawberries, and called them charm berries. By allowing the contrast, we can laugh a little more. Find a humor in the contrast. Find humor in the differences. Be a little silly and stop taking things so seriously. Take my husband and me. We are contrasts in every sense of the word. Some of these contrasts used to put me over, and now some of them crack me up. Like, I love keeping up with technology, and I'm pretty good with technology. Now, he loves technology, but technically challenged. I used to get annoyed, and now I just crack up. The words that come out of his mouth sometimes has me crying laughing. He could literally create an entire section of new words for the Urban Dictionary. It's hysterical. When you're in a funk, ask if you're trying to resist the contrast. Trying to resist letting the contrast in. What would happen if you just let it in? What if some cases you felt shame, and in some cases you were that confident, brave, and courageous lizard? I mean woman. You can experience both. You're supposed to experience both. You are designed. The world is designed that way. When I am hesitant on letting contrast in, I use a simple phrase, even though. That's it. The simple phrase is even though. There, throw that one on your tool belt. For instance, I am going to step out of my daily routine today to learn more about something that interests me, even though it may make me uncomfortable. Even though is a powerful phrase, you guys. This phrase acknowledges the difficulty, but it also establishes a commitment or a determination to let the contrast in. So in that last example, I acknowledge that it may be uncomfortable, but it also establishes my determination to step out of my routine. Try it. Here's another one. Today I'm going to read a book, even though it means moving that last item on my task list to tomorrow. See? Even though acknowledges the difficulty and tells your brain to calm down, and then establishes that determination to get something else done. Listen, life is full of ups and downs, success and failures, joys and sorrows. Experiencing contrast is a shared human experience. We are not alone in the struggles and the triumphs. It's the contrasts that make life interesting, challenging, and ultimately more fulfilling. Getting unfunked requires you to let the contrast in. Let both the positive and negative in. Yes, some of the contrast may lead to disappointment or overwhelm, but we use it as an opportunity for growth. By experiencing this contrast, we become more resilient and better equipped to handle future obstacles. Without contrast, we wouldn't be able to fully appreciate the good times. So let the contrast in. Don't resist it. Remember, it's just a part of life that everyone experiences. Embrace it, learn from it, and use it as progress. Contrast is where the good stuff is, ladies. And I'll leave you with the quote from William Cowper. Variety's the very spice of life that gives it all its flavor. All right, ladies, make it rain contrast. And let's go. Before you go, Superwoman, I'd love it if you took a little action for me. Like, subscribe to my podcast and leave a review. Also, share the episode with a friend. And as a thank you, hit up my website to crystalsumner.com, thecrystalsumner.com, to grab free journal prompts. Okay, ladies, now is the time to go unfunk your mind, play bigger, and ask for more. Open the door to possibility and cancel playing small. So get up and go.